This woman never missed a chance to humiliate her niece, laughing at her without a shred of mercy. But what happened next will leave you speechless. This story is a roller coaster of emotions: heartbreak, anger, triumph, and ultimately, redemption. By the end, you'll be rushing to share it with everyone you know. Meet Emily, a kind-hearted young woman who had endured years of cruel jokes and public humiliation from her Aunt Linda. Linda was the kind of person who thrived on putting others down, especially Emily. Every family gathering, every holiday, Linda would loudly point out Emily's flaws in front of everyone. "Look at her, she's practically bursting out of that dress." Linda would cackle, her voice dripping with mockery. Emily would smile politely, but inside, she was dying. The breaking point came during a family reunion at a luxurious countryside estate owned by the family's rich, mysterious uncle, Richard. Richard was the kind of man who commanded attention the moment he walked into a room. He had made a fortune in real estate, wore tailored suits, and had a presence that could silence anyone with just a look. He was the family's golden child, and everyone wanted his approval, especially Linda. The first night of the reunion, the family gathered for a lavish dinner. Linda, as usual, couldn't resist making a scene. "Emily, dear, maybe you should skip dessert? Or do you need another chair?" She sneered, her voice cutting through the room like a knife. The table fell silent, and Emily's face turned red. But before she could respond, Richard slammed his glass on the table. The sound was so sharp it made everyone jump. "Enough!" Richard said, his voice calm but icy. "You think you're clever, but all I see is a bitter woman who gets joy from tearing others down." Linda's jaw dropped. No one had ever dared to speak to her like that, but Richard wasn't done. He turned to Emily and said, "You're beautiful, inside and out. Don't let anyone make you feel less than that." The room was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Emily felt a surge of emotions: gratitude, relief, and finally, courage. She stood up, her hands shaking, but her voice steady. "You've spent years humiliating me," she said, looking straight at Linda. "But today, I'm done. I'm done with your jokes, your insults, and your cruelty. You're not better than me. You're just louder." Linda tried to laugh it off, but Emily wasn't finished. She turned to Richard and said, "Thank you for seeing me when no one else did." Then she walked out, leaving the entire family in stunned silence. The next morning, Richard sought out Emily. He found her sitting by the lake, lost in thought. "Emily," he said gently, "I've watched you for years, and I've seen how strong you are. You don't deserve to be treated like this. Come to New York with me. I'll give you a job at my company, a fresh start." Emily's eyes filled with tears. For the first time in years, she felt seen. She accepted his offer, and within weeks, she was on a plane to New York. But the story doesn't end there. A year later, Emily returned to the family estate for another reunion. This time, she was unrecognizable, confident, radiant, and successful. Linda, on the other hand, had fallen on hard times. Her husband had left her, and her once sharp tongue had dulled. When Linda saw Emily, she tried to apologize, but Emily stopped her. "I don't need your apology," she said. "I've moved on. I hope you can find peace, but I won't let you back into my life." The family watched in awe as Emily, once the target of ridicule, stood tall and unbroken. Richard smiled proudly, knowing he had played a part in her transformation. This story is a reminder that no one has the right to make you feel small. Stand up for yourself, surround yourself with people who lift you up, and never let anyone dim your light. If this story resonated with you, leave a comment and share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Because everyone deserves to feel seen.